Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shlokas such Shlokas 5 and 6 of chapter 17. Ashastra vihitam ghoram
Ashastra vihidam koram
tapyante ye tapojana
tapyande ye tabojanaha
dambhahankara samyukta
dambahangara samyukta
kamaraga balanvita
kamaraga balanvitaha
karshayantah sharirastham
kartayantha sharirastham
bhutagramamachetasah
udagramamachedasaha
mam chaivantah sharirastham
mam daivanda sharirastham
tan vidhyasuranischayan.
Anvidya sura nischayan.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A Shastra,
Ashastra,
not in the scriptures.
not in the scriptures.
Vihitam,
Vihidam,
directed.
directed.
Ghoram,
Horam,
harmful to others.
harmful to others.
Tapyante,
Tapyande,
undergo.
undergo.
Ye,
Ye,
those who.
those who.
Tapaha,
Tabaha,
austerities.
austerities.
Janaha,
Janaha,
persons.
persons.
Dambha,
Dambaha,
with pride.
with pride.
Ahankara,
Ahankara,
and egoism.
and egoism.
Samyuktaha,
Samyuktaha,
engaged.
engaged.
Kama,
Kama,
of lust.
of lust.
Raga,
Raga,
an attachment.
and attachment.
Bala,
Bhala,
by the force.
by the force.
Anvitaha,
Annidaha,
impelled.
impelled.
Parshayantaha,
Ashayandaha,
tormenting.
tormenting.
Sharirastham,
Sarirastham,
situated within the body.
situated within the body.
Bhutagramam,
Bodhagramam,
the combination of material elements.
the combination of material elements.
Achetasaha,
Ashedasaha,
having a misled mentality.
having a misled mentality.
Mam,
Mam,
me.
me,
Cha,
cha,
also.
so,
Eva,
eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Antaha,
Andaha,
within.
within.
Sharirastham,
Sarirastham,
situated in the body.
situated in the body.
Tan,
An,
them. Vidhi,
vidhi,
understand.
stand.
Asura nischayan,
Asura nischayam,
demons.
demons.
Translation, those who undergo severe austerities
Those who undergo severe austerities
and penances
and penances,
not recommended in the scriptures,
not recommended in the scriptures,
performing them out of pride
performing them out of the pride
and egoism,
and egoism,
who are impelled by lust
who are impelled by lust
and attachment,
and attachments,
who are foolish,
who are foolish,
and who torture the material elements of the body,
or who torture the material elements of the body,
as well as the super soul dwelling within,
as well as the super soul dwelling within,
are to be known as demons.
are to be known as demons. Krishna.
So, we finished the first 4 shlokas where the Lord talked about faith under the influence of the 3 gunas. Even though that faith is not reposed entirely in the Vedic scriptures, there is some other faith that is present. And we all talked about how to live We have to have faith in something, either faith in ourselves, faith in the Lord, faith in something. Without that, we will not be able to survive. So here in Shlokas 5 and 6, the Lord is specifically talking about penances and austerities that are conducted in such a manner that it results in torture of one's own body and ultimately torture also of the super soul that resides within the body. So that is what the Lord is talking about here. So Shlokas 5 and 6, Prabhupada is saying there are persons who manufacture modes of austerity and penance which are not mentioned in the scriptural injunctions. For instance, fasting for some ulterior purpose, such as to promote a purely political end, is not mentioned in the scriptural directions. In our culture, there is this acceptance that fasting is an austerity. But sometimes people fast for a political motive. They want a political result. And Prabhupada is saying fasting is not meant to be done for political results or any other material results. No, fasting is primarily done for spiritual progress. So the scriptures recommend fasting for spiritual advancement, not for some political end or social purpose. Persons who take to such austerities are, according to Bhagavad Gita, certainly demoniac. Their acts are against the scriptural injunctions and are not beneficial for the people in general. Actually, they act out of pride, false ego, lust, and attachment for material enjoyment. By such activities, not only is the combination of material elements of which the body is constructed disturbed, but also the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself living within the body. So anything that we undertake for bodily reasons, especially if the penances are very severe, then the Lord is saying we also torture the super soul within, not just ourselves. So that should be sobering statement by the Lord for us. Such unauthorized fasting or austerities for some political end are certainly very disturbing to others. They are not mentioned in the Vedic literature. A demoniac person may think that he can force his enemy or other parties to comply with his desire by this method. So essentially, you are manipulating other people's emotions because they don't like the idea of somebody torturing themselves. And therefore, the other person has to be convinced to give in or cave in to your demands. So the purpose of such extreme measures is to manipulate others. Correct? So that's why Prabhupada is writing, a demoniac person may think that he can force his enemy or other parties to comply with his desire by this method, but sometimes one dies for such fasting. These acts are not approved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says that those who engage in them are demons. Such demonstrations are insults to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are enacted in disobedience to the Vedic scriptural injunctions. The word achetasaha is significant in this connection. Persons of normal mental condition must obey the scriptural injunctions. Those who are not in such a position neglect and disobey the scriptures and manufacture their own way of austerities and penances. One should always remember the ultimate end of the demoniac people, as described in the previous chapter. The Lord forces them to take birth in the wombs of demoniac persons. Consequently, they will live by demoniac principles, life after life, without knowing their relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If, however, such persons are fortunate enough to be guided by a spiritual master who can direct them to the path of Vedic wisdom, they can get out of this entanglement and ultimately achieve the supreme goal. So Prabhupada is explaining those who undertake such severe austerities and penances for personal gain or for social gain. They will keep being placed into demoniac species life after life because they have neglected the Shastras and they have neglected the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Except if they come in contact with a pure devotee, then their life will get transformed. So His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu writes a brief commentary on this particular shloka. Why Krishna gives an additional description of the demoniac in the 17th chapter. When Arjuna seeks a nuanced understanding of the divine demonic categorization, which is the 17th question that Arjuna is asking, Krishna answers by providing several subtle and sophisticated parameters, which is shlokas that we will cover shortly, which is 9 to 22. But first, Krishna continues the theme of nuancing by highlighting counterintuitive expressions of the demonic mentality. In the 16th chapter, Krishna has described how the demonic mentality expresses itself in activities that are avaricious, malicious, even murderous, activities that can be easily identified as demonic. But sometimes the demonic mentality may impel one to do activities that seem the opposite of the demonic, activities that seem divine. One such activity is austerity. So externally, when you see somebody performing an austerity, you are in awe of them. You think, wow, they're doing something great. But actually, you don't understand that that type of austerity is not recommended in the scriptures. So externally, it may seem like it's a very divine thing that they're doing. But if what they're doing is against the scriptures, then that is not appropriate. If someone were performing severe austerities, rigidly regulating the desires of their senses and even the needs of their body, we would deem them self-controlled sages. So when you see somebody who has such great self-control, because to perform severe austerities, you must be extremely determined and very, very committed to what you're going to do. So you may think this must be a great person, but we might be disastrously wrong. Why? Because demons sometimes resort to austerities because they are hungry for the power to fulfill their demonic desires. And that hunger for power may enable them to perform austerities whose severity outshines the austerities done by celebrated sages. So much so, Hiranyakashipu is well known for his austerities. You don't hear of many sages who have performed austerities, but one demon performed such great austerities that he has become famous. But we don't understand what is the reason that they're doing it for. So the motive and the objective of the austerity matters to the Lord. So the deadly demon Hiranyakashipu is one such example. If someone had observed him only during the time when he was performing austerities, they would have deemed him a legendary sage. By thus highlighting how the demonic nature is essentially a mentality, Krishna preps Arjuna for the battle he is about to fight. The opposite side had some leaders who were overtly demonic. Duryodhana and Dushasana, for example. And they had many allies whose activities weren't at all demonic. Bhishma and Drona, for example. Yet these allies had somehow chosen to support a demonic cause. Therefore, Arjuna needed to unsentimentally neutralize them. So what was Arjuna's anxiety in the beginning? Do I really have to kill Drona and Bhishma? They are worthy of my worship, Arjuna says. But here Krishna is saying, but they've taken the side of the demons. Who are the demons here? Examples given is Duryodhana and Dushasana. So because they have aligned themselves with the wrong side, Krishna is saying your emotions should be out of the picture. You have to make the decision that you need to make. You have to neutralize the demons. even though good people are on that side. To do his difficult duty as a Kshatriya, Arjuna needed to see this grim reality beyond their non-demonic appearance. The demonic mentality can be so subtle and sneaky as to express itself in activities such as austerity that seem not at all demonic. So we have to be careful. External demonstrations of austerity, we shouldn't really be moved by, because we don't know what is a person's motive. If the motive is to please Krishna and to make progress on the spiritual path, even then there is authorized austerities. Like, for example, every Ekadasi we are supposed to keep a fast. Even then, many of us are not fasting completely. Why? Because seva to Krishna is more important than torturing or keeping this fast. Right? Yes, one can keep a nirjal fast to strengthen our resolve, to strengthen our faith, to strengthen our determination in Krishna consciousness. It's okay. But if by keeping the fast, Prabhupada says, if that interferes with your service, then you can keep the fast, but have fruits and milk, right? You don't have to keep a nirjal fast. Now, as per the Shastras, every Ekadasi should be nirjal fast only. But it's not recommended if it weakens your body or if it prevents you from doing or continuing your sevas in the temple. So hence, the Lord is stating here specifically, there are certain types of penances and austerities that are kept really for personal gain, and such kind of austerities are not recommended in the scriptures.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.